and the ancestors are looking out for us. God Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under it.
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown lesson.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Hey, Rabbi, this is Who Are the Real Pretendians and the Dr. Umar Johnson Indoctrination. Hey, shout out that boy Rizza Islam, man. We got 2 copies of that joint. We reading this book right now, Message to the Millennium by Rizza Islam. We gonna do a book review on them for your Islam for Rizza. We're gonna do a book review on it. It's an easy read. I like how he got the letters and everything in there. I bought one for Haru and one for Hakeem. Hakeem and Haru getting, especially Haru, he getting better on his reading. Yeah, so we doing it like that. But we got you here today because we've been putting a lot of tapes together, like, because we're gonna get back to doing these slides. So niggas got clips. I see these youngsters, these new YouTubers that's coming into the conscious community, they pulling out 600 slide clips and all this. So they must have forgot, or they must don't know. Young Elders, the slideshow king. I started this shit, putting the slides with the music to the background and all that. Go back and check the timestamps. It don't matter though. Niggas was saying, oh, he must be trained by the government for him to be putting slides and having it. Yeah, niggas was saying I was trained by the government 7-8 years ago when we was doing it, man. He trained by the government. Come on, man. That's what they were saying. Oh, that shit is so clean. The only person that can do something like that is somebody trained like the government. That's what Mark Brady was saying. Yeah. But hey, Dr. Umar, man. So what brings your name up in this this ain't no attack at Umar. We just trying to see whose side he on, man. I agree with some of the stuff the brother says. But when I went to TikTok and I typed in who are the Pretendians and started scrolling, the $5 Indians come up talking about us, right? And then Dr. Umar Johnson is right along with the $5 Indians. I'm saying, hold on, man, what's going on here? Dr. Umar Johnson, hold on, let's roll some of these clips, man. Hey, hold on, we're gonna give people, we'll give them about a couple more minutes to get in. Hey, so we waiting on to get in touch with Mama Radbird so we can get her on. And who else it was? Oh yeah, Dr. Kia Pruitt. I'm about to get in touch with Orisha. Orisha gonna be on tonight too with somebody. And so we can do another interview with Dr. Kia Pruitt by herself so we can get y'all up to speed on who Dr. Kid Pruitt is. Shout out Dr. Kid Pruitt. Who else? Yeah, man. So we brought you here today, man. This is crazy. We're dealing with the word Indian, and see, here's the thing: the word technically. Here's the rundown on the word Indian, and we heard all the perspectives. And the Duke had the child Duke of Tears, man. Duke of Tears. He really broke it down with without God or in God when you breaking down the word Indian. But Christopher Columbus knew that he wasn't in going to he knew he was going to Indian Superior. India Superior. That's what some of the maps got. That this place, some of the parts of this place is called India Superior. And another connection is that the people that they call the Indians in India, those people were those people, the originals landed over here, and they mixed in with the Armax. The Armax is already over here. Now, the only thing I think Dr. Umar Johnson, I don't know, man. I think he a Freemason or somebody that ain't down. I don't think he down with us completely. I think it's something secretly about him because he holds to the same narrative that the slave master, not even the slave master, because the Moors were the real slave masters. He holds to the narrative that was sold to us about us being captured from Africa and brought over here. That's a bullshit story, man, based on all the information we came out with now. I never hear Dr. Umar Johnson mention the Spanish Inquisition. What about the Spanish Inquisition, Dr. Umar Johnson? And the science of it, about it to overthrow the Moors worldwide. What about that? What about the Mammers parades and other parades that comes behind the science of the Spanish Inquisition as a conjure to make fun of us worldwide, the Moors? So he really never even mentioned the Moors. He never mentions the Spanish Inquisition. And then he goes out, and I'm gonna play some clips from this Joker. Shout out Dr. Umar Johnson. Cause hey, we ain't going for it no more, man. We ain't slow. We ain't going for the I think he's still trapped in the 60s during the Martin Luther King and Malcolm X era. He's still trapped in that area. Nigga, that's whole 60 years ago. It's a new ball game now. We know way more information now. We got the computer. They didn't even have computers back then. So like they didn't even have cell phones back then with this like a smartphone. We got all this shit. They didn't have all the freedoms essentially that we think we got right now. They didn't have all that back then. So I think Dr. Umar is still trapped in the 60s, man. When he talking from but I know why he trapped in the 60s. It's because that's when they created this paradigm and they put it into the Rockefeller indoctrination into the schools, right? And so he got a doctorate degree. So that doctorate degree is licensed. See, you got to go back and watch that tape we put out called Oath and Licenses. So he got the oath with the Masons. Then he got the license with these guys with the colonizers. He got the license with the colonizers, man, with the foreign occupation, the federal government. He got the doctor's license, man. So he's limited to what he can say. They didn't teach the Spanish Inquisition about the Moors in his college and in his schools, so he can't say nothing about that because it'll go against his license as being a doctor. He'll lose his doctor's degree. He can't. Then they won't invite him on all of these on CNN and all them other shows. I don't know if he was on CNN, but he's been on a lot of big shows that's so-called black shows, promoting this African thing. Now I'm gonna say this: a lot of people don't agree with this, that they probably been following us. But it's some truth to the African thing. Only problem I got with is I ain't even got really a problem with the word African. I can give you all the perspectives. But what does the word African really means? And when did they start calling that place Africa? Is what the question I got for Dr. Umar. Now he probably said that don't matter. We talking about the landmass, right? He probably said that don't matter. But and it really don't technically, because why do I never hear Dr. Umar? He might have mentioned them. To me, in my studies, Africans was over here before 1492, or what they calling the people from that landmass was already over here before 1492. I have reason based on my research and studying the pyramids and the time frame that they give us is something ain't lining up, because it's either two things. Either the people over here sailed over there and started building pyramids, or the people over there sailed over in Africa, sailed over here and started building pyramids. Which one is it? And then if you're gonna tell me that, then you're gonna tell me that these people had ships in the 2000 BCs. Either or. The Africans had ships, or the Americans had ships. Either or. So we can agree on that point, that it was some kind of and then you see watermelon and different. We could run down all the different vegetables and plant transactions that's prior to 1492, like corn. And then they gonna lie and say Christopher Columbus came over here. Oh, then all of a sudden that's when corn. That's a bullshit lie, because Christopher Columbus didn't come nowhere but to the islands. That's a bullshit lie. Or say a watermelon is indigenous to Egypt, but then they find it in down in Mexico, and they find it in down in south parts of the Mississippi, in the old Mesopotamian cultures and the old Mississippian cultures. They find watermelon seeds in tombs, and they in these mounds, and then they say, "Oh, well, how did this happen? Oh, Christopher Columbus did it." Nah, so we can agree on that if somebody had ships 2,000 years ago and they went over there, either built the pyramids over there. Now that they telling us, because they coming from a European center point, and I got a whole bunch of clips. Keep in mind, I got a full 30, 40, 50 round clip for y'all, just giving people time to get in. We chopping it up. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Y'all get a TV, man. Y'all get Hood Anchor, man. So we gotta, but then if we go read Tahuti, if you want to add that in, add the emerald tablets and other ancient tablets in with their storylines, and connect all the dots. Because like Tahuti say, everything is connected. Tahuti say that he started over here, and then when they got attacked by the brothers of the darkness, who were really Dragon reptilians, right, from Dragos, mentioned in the Bible as the dragons and his angels in Revelations chapter 12. These guys attacked Tahuti now. Tahuti is a part of the Elohim. For you Bible guys, he's one of the Elohim. And they attack these guys. And then Tahuti say he gets in his ship. His ship is a UFO, for you guys that's up to speed. Baba Tabos is what we call them. And for you guys that's Bible guys, chariots of fire, wheel in the middle of a wheel type of object. They can move in any direction. Where they get in that type of craft is what he mentions of in the Emerald Tablets. They take off and then go to Africa and land over there where the Sphinx is. So the Sphinx is already over there, according to what Tahuti said. Now, according to what Doc said in the Holy Tablets, is that, and according to what Zachariah Stitchin said, that Inky had the statue built, had the Sphinx built in honor of Osiris getting murdered. And then we got historians that have been over there on the land, like Ashrod Kwesi. Shout out Ashrod Kwesi, who's a student of Dr. Ben, that says that, oh yeah, this face this face is the face of a Twa person. The original face is the face of a Twa. And then some people got other, so you got other points of views on that. But so what do you say in the Emerald Tablets? Because I'm really going too far out on the topic, but this all gonna tie in to who are the Pretendians, because these people they showing, they're saying, that's calling us Pretendians, are they the mound builders? Why they ain't still building mounds now? If they the mound builders, why they ain't still building pyramids, these people? Why the Smithsonian Institute is necessary to cover up all this information if everything leads to the people who they saying is the real people of this land? Why they got to take all that evidence and cover up the giants, the Shaquille O'Neals in those days? Because Shaq is a giant compared to a Twa, man. If the people go back and get that papyrus of Norma, who was a Watusi, he tall, and then he got a Twa man who are short, 5 foot guys walking with him. So 5 foot to 7, 8 foot is a giant. And they snatch, and you wonder what the Giants did now. The Giants survived the flood because now they all in the NBA. No, Shaq, y'all mean 7 foot, 8 foot tall with unibrows, which is a trait of the Anarchies. AD got a unibrow, man. That's Enlil seed. Enlil got unibrow. Anu got a unibrow. But let's get into the topic, man. We was getting people time to get in. We got 200 people and everybody hit that like right now, man. We about to crack heads and twist caps.
Guess what? There's more white people than black people in America. You're going to get in that reparations line and your mind is going to be blown away by all the non-black people who are going to be able to get reparations because we kept on bunny hopping around, mixing our seed, marrying non-African people, and I am willing to bet that more non-Africans than Africans will get reparations in America because of it. You know why? Because we spread every non-African woman you make a baby with. Every woman you inject with your seed who is not an African, that baby can claim reparations. Yup. And their children can claim reparations. And their children can claim reparations. So depending on how long it takes for America to give out reparations, you're going to see lines of hundreds of thousands of pale white people with blue eyes who don't look black at all, but who can get reparations because some thirsty, self-hating Negro impregnated a non-African woman, and several generations down the tree, their great 99% white grandchildren can say, my great grandma was a slave on the plantation because my great grandfather bunny hopped with my great grandma, and because of that I get to cipher off the reparations of black people, even though I've never identified as black a day in my life. Interracial dating is a significant.
Y'all, I know y'all ignoring this guy, but let me say this. Here's the guy, and I ain't making fun of him on that, man, but it really hurt my feelings that a guy got a doctor's degree on front of his name, a doctor's license. Well, he licensed, so I understand why he doing it. But it mighty funny, he got a doctor's degree and he don't know how to read a dictionary, because ain't nowhere in the dictionary was a black people, unless it's some social engineering, because black is not a noun. So I'm pretty sure Dr. Umar, with his education, with his Rockefeller education, he understands the difference between a noun an adjective, right? So when he say black people, that's automatically people scholars worldwide seeing your with doctor on your name, they saying, oh, this either he's he's working an agenda, or he's really not a doctor. That's what they saying. Yeah, real scholars around the world that see Dr. Umar Johnson say black people, they saying that either he's not a doctor or he's getting paid to work an agenda. So, and then he talking about white people getting reparations. We don't want reparations. We want our whole loaf. We already told y'all it. Don't give us a slice or make us a sandwich off our loaf. No, give us the whole loaf. We're not black, Negroes, nor colored. We are Moors. And Indian is a misnomer. Indian is a federal trademarked, copyrighted thing, man. That's what they don't want to tell you. Now, let me show you something, man. Let me show you what they did. Let me bring some of my brothers on. Islam, Moors.
You can't be Indian and not Moorish, and this is the facts of it. In 1621, the word Indian was substituted for Moorish. With this single alteration, the original text was again transcribed in 1730. The source is Peabody Museum of American Archaeology and Ethnology, 1888, Harvard University volume.
Yeah, that's that's related to Montezuma.
Yes. Yeah, Montezuma. Yeah.
Yeah, Montezuma. So
You know, that's
I think,
also reflected in a Catholic saint a Catholic conquistador who was later sainted. And they still celebrate him. It's interesting. His name was Santiago. And his original name was Santiago Matamoras.
yeah,
And they changed it to Santiago Mata Indios.
I find that other clip, but so you see that they in 16, really Christopher Columbus called us Indian, right? And then, but they really put their stamp on it in 1621. They later copyrighted it. I got another tape coming out on that. So J.P. Morgan is the one that was involved too later on when he brought these Indians over and these photographers over during the Curtis. I don't think, no, not the Curtis Act. It was it might have been the Curtis Act, but I'm thinking about J.P. Morgan bringing these people over, these Chinese and these Siberians, and telling them to dress up like us. And some of the clothes were too big for them. I think shout out Top Cat, man. Chief Top Cat pointed that out. That look at these pictures of these guys, that these war bonnets and these outfits they got on look too big for them because they were smaller people. And our people over here, like your granddad and them, they wore size 8, 18, size 7, like big shoes. We starting to get smaller. But your granddad and them, our ancestors and them, they were big people, 7 foot tall, 6'8", shoe size 15. Like your dad and them wore big shoes. Y'all got these little feet now. Like some of y'all I wore size 12. But some of y'all wear 8.5, 7. But your granddad and them wore size 15. You know what I'm saying? They were big people, right? Because as the Native Americans, we were big people. But we're gonna just point out that they can't trademark and copyright the word Moor, but they trademarked and copyrighted the word Indian. And it's a dude that's working for the government. He's a $5 Indian. I'm about to play him in a minute. But he's going out to say that everybody that's using the Indian term is going to be copyrighted by the federal government. I know what he's saying, but it's ways you can beat him on that too. But because the Moors really mean Indian. I mean the Indian really means Moor, right?
Talk about it.
That's how
I give you another one. The Pretendians, right? Y'all familiar with the Pretendians?
The
Africans who want to be Indian.
Yeah, the ones that claim that they got Native American.
No, they do have it. I got Cherokee in me. But here's the problem, Phelps. You got 4 grandparents.
How the did you know that?
Me?
I was lost.
Nah,
on the
look,
Pretendians.
that's a real thing.
No, that's real.
No, I'm lost.
But here's the thing. You got 4 grandparents. You got 8 great-grandparents. You got 16 great-great. 32 great-great-great. 64 great-great-great-great. 108 great-great-great-great-great. Can I ask you a question? If you got 108, 5 or 6 times great-grandparents, and one of them is a Cherokee, one of them is a Choctaw, one of them is a Seminole, one of them is a Chickasaw, how the hell you stop being black? Do you feel?
That boy throwing the towel down as if he said something. Now I repeat what I said. Dr. Umar, if you listening, how you got doctors on the front of your name and you don't know how to read a dictionary? Black is not a people. It's an adjective. It don't apply to a people. That's the first mistake you're making. Now, I ain't disagreeing with you with the Africa thing because I'm a student of Dr. Malachi Z York, and I know we study a lot, and we know about Mansa Musa selling over here in 1310 and mixing in with the Armax and the people that was in Georgia and creating a Yamasi. And these were your Gullah Geechee people. And I have a reason to believe the Africans sell over here before that, because like I said, just before if you're just not coming on, just like I said, but we ain't Africans. That's right. We ain't Africans. The African term it don't even exist when Mansa Musa and them come over here. I have reason to believe through my studies that African wouldn't call that part. It wasn't called Africa until the Berlin Conference, like 1884. Right? We have reason to believe that it's other maps that show South America, or parts of South America is Africa. So everybody's scared of the African term, but like I said, before the African term exists in the 1500s, when when a seller named Balboa sailed over here and landed in South Central Americas, he said that he saw people that look like Ethiopians. And the Ethiopians and Armax are the same damn people. That's why. And it's a whole bunch of people, historians, that talk about that. I think we would connect, see what they want to. When you say we ain't Africans, it's like a divide thing, because African means to divide us up, Africa, right? So we were a one world civilization. Like, look, let me tell you, we were a one world civilization all over. We sailed the world for thousands of years. Why you think if it was pyramids over there and pyramids over here, the same people built those, the mound builders. So we were the one world organization, but the devil with the Luciferians, they divide us up and conquer them. Oh, you ain't an African, you Americans, y'all different. Just because of the term. Just because of the term. I'm telling you, man, but we was already selling and mixing with each other for thousands of years before this separation and colonization. So I'm with him on that. I can agree with you when you say we ain't Africans, because we ain't Africans. We the Amarucans. Us over here, we the Amarucans, right? Africans are if you want nowadays, Africans are in Africa. Now, there's some Africans that came over here. Dr. Umar Johnson don't look like ain't no African to me though. Know what Dr. Umar Johnson looked like to me? He looked like an Armac. Now, the Armacs are Bantu. It's Bantu people in Africa. Now, I'm gonna tell you what the argument is. The argument ain't whether we Africans or Americans. The argument is the origin point, right? The origin point of where we origin from. Now, me and Rod, over a series of tapes, have already proven that all the oldest information of the origin point is really coming from America, but we're dealing with being colonized by Europeans who's coming from a European centristics, meaning that everything, their storyline is everybody came from Africa because if they can steal it, they can steal our land. And then Dr. Umar Johnson got a doctor's degree talking about reparations, and he don't know that this whole pie, the whole American pie is ours. The American pie that they was talking about, that's Big Mama's pie, and they came over and started just taking slices, and they didn't even give a chance to even cool off. They didn't even get like old boy on life. He got, and they made him stand on them bottles after he got through. Yeah, that's Umar Johnson standing on the bottles. Yeah, so Umar, man, you gotta straighten that up, man. When you're talking about black, and you're talking about you got a doctor's degree, and scholars listening to you around the world, they talking bad about you, man. Saying this brother either ain't no way this brother's got a doctor's degree and he don't know how to read. Now you may think you don't know how to read, but you can't know how to read if you study saying black is a people. You can't know how to read linguistically.
These people are being told that their genealogy does not link them or their families to any of the Indian ancestry.
Keep your eye on the issue here. The issue is that the individuals in these groups do not have Abenaki ancestry. They have great stories.
Who determines that?
Because I've actually
Who determines that?
I actually did the genealogies of every single family that they claim in their own documentation. And no Abenaki ancestry.
So they get mad. This in Vermont, where these $5 Indians are now being rejected. They trace their DNA and say, "Oh no, y'all ain't $5 pretendians." So like I told you on a tape that I did a while back, when they asked me what I thought that was gonna be happening this year, and I told them that the federal government finna start cutting off all these tribes because they haven't got no more money to pay them. And you see what's happening. I got more videos to back those receipts. But Dr. Umar Johnson must ain't got this book right here. Like from North Carolina, from Negroes to colored people. How they came, and they didn't enslave no Africans. They enslaved Native Americans. And then changed them to colored people and Negroes. We got more receipts, man. Go get this book, Dr. Umar Johnson. You got enough money, all the money he connected for the schools, and nobody's seen the schools. What was he gonna be teaching in them schools? The Rockefeller indoctrination? It said like that's what he teach. He teach what he learned in the colleges set up by Rockefeller. The Africans were slaves. Africans are this. Africans that. We Africans. Everybody's African. Right? Everybody that's black is African. You know where that come from? Hey, Dr. Umar, you all are gonna pull up Carlos Linnaeus. Carlos Linnaeus is the one that created the paradigm saying that Africans are black, Europeans are white, Chinese are yellow, and Americans are the red man. See, we the red man. We ain't the black man, Umar. So you want to go talk to the black man, you got to go to Africa, according to Carlos Linnaeus. Yeah, Carlos Linnaeus, go look him up. You got to go talk to we the red man, we the copper, the penny man, we the red Mississippi clay dirt. They go all the way to that's what Oklahoma mean, red clay dirt. Go look it up. That's who we are. We the Oklahoma people. We the Washita people. We the red man. The Redskins. Redskins in DC, and you ain't figured it out yet? Or what this all about? Yeah, and Moors come in different shades. Keep in mind, we brown, red, Moors can come in brown, red, and black. And some yellow Moors as well. They call them mulattoes. So we come in Elijah Muhammad said that yeah, that covered all the races. But like I say, Carlos Linnaeus created that paradigm, Dr. Umar Johnson. Did they teach you that in college? Did they teach you about Carlos Linnaeus? Probably not. I bet you they didn't. I bet you they did tell you about Carlos Linnaeus, who created the ethnic group system. Who he's like the seed, the mustard seed of the whole operation of the yeah. I'm telling you, man. So technically, if you want to go out talking to us and trying to help us, you should be referred, if you're gonna go with a crayon, calling people crayons, because that's what black people is, a crayon people. You know, they can take crayons and they can, that's property, and they can put it on the shelf and market it and sell it, right? So if you're gonna call us a crayon, you at least should be proper and call us the red man, according to call us the red man. We the red crayon. if you want to go with people being crayons, you know what I'm saying? We would be technically the red crayon, because I don't look. My head is black. I'm almost the same color. I'm red. I'm the red man, right? So yeah, man, let's roll some more clips.
White people ran a finesse game in the early 1900s when they had something called the Dawes Rolls, where it was an Indian census. They had to bring the people in to get on the Indian roll to allot land to them. White people said, oh, you're giving away free land, and they got $5 and gave people $5 under the table and said, hey, list me as a Cherokee. And that's the term $5 Indian, meaning a fake Indian. So a lot of white people started pretending to be Native American. That was a real big thing in the early 1900s. You remember the Crying Indian, that commercial in the 70s? It was an Indian talking about pollution, and there was a tear going down his eye. Yeah, there was a very popular commercial. I remember, You remember that, Big? Remember that? Very popular commercial. That was a guy named Iron Eyes Cody. He was a big actor in the 1940s and 50s, big Native American representative. Turned out he wasn't even Native American at all.
Umar, since you want to go out to attack your own people, calling us pretendians along with the $5 Indians who signed up for the Dawes Roll, why you ain't talking about the Dawes Roll, Umar? How so-called Carlos Linnaeus white folks, because free white people, that's, you know, that technically ain't got nothing to do with skin tone, black and white. It's all social engineering. But because according to Booker T's book, go Dr. Umar, I know you got Booker T's book Up for Slavery in your book collection. Go read that, and he'll tell you what happened between what black really means. And then after that, you need to go pull up a court case. One is when Lincoln represented one is what's the dude name? Somebody drop it. I think of it, Dred Scott. Go pull up the Dred Scott case, Umar Johnson. Then go pull up Lincoln representing William Dungy. Go pull up those court cases and cross-reference them and see what about the word black. That a black was a social engineer. Then go pull up, wow, Dr. Umar don't ever talk about the black Christian codes. He might have do, but do he imply that this was a social engineer? And then if he understand that, then why would he still be calling people black in 2026? In this day and time? It's social engineering. Study the Dred Scott case. We got, and I made it easy for you. Young Elder made it easy for you. If you want to study all these things I just said, like the Dred Scott case, the William Dungy case, the Black Christian codes, all you got to do is go to my playlist and go to the Native American playlist is in there. Or if you want to go to a shorter playlist where all of it is in there, go to the Young Elders Law School playlist, and all those classes explaining all those things I just said is in there. The William Dungy's case when Lincoln represented him, where he was classified as black, and where he won his case, and then Dred Scott lost his case. We got both of the cases back to back. Then we got the Black Christian codes in there. So, Dr. Umar, Do you know? Are you a doctor? What kind of doctor is he? Is he an African doctor? Is he a black doctor? Because black is African, according to Carlos Linnaeus. We ain't black. Negroes nor colored. So what is his aim? Calling us going out to join on with these $5 guys when the brother just said that the Dawes Roll created the Pretendians. They didn't allow us to sign up to the Dawes Rolls. How could we be Pretendians? The Pretendians signed up for the Dawes Roll. And other things that happen. We're gonna get into that too. But one of the key pivots is why don't Dr. Umar Johnson, shout out Dr. Umar Johnson, hit that like, leave a comment, Dr. Umar Johnson, and you can even come on the show and defend yourself if you want. We can battle. I'll battle you if you want. Right? I give you time to get your stuff together. I already got my stuff together. The master teacher already did all the homework for us. I don't disagree with everything you say, though. It is a connection between that land and this land and the peoples prior to Columbus, because the pyramids predate Columbus by thousands of years. Now, is that a fact or not? And it stands to reason that those people were with Imhotep building his pyramid, the people building they had to be in connection. Then like I said, I can get into the plants like squash, like potatoes that end up over there when potatoes native to South America. Corn is native over here, but it's over there on the walls in the pyramids. Corn, they doing other things. That shit that over there to Columbus. Right? So it's like I am disagreeing with you that it's a possibility that at some point these were the same people building these mounds. That's right, because the real ancient ones will originate from America, and they built ships way before 30,000 years ago, according to what they found in the cave, in the Barrow Cave in Illinois. These guys was already having ships 30,000 years ago sailing around the world. How long is 30,000 years ago compared to 2000 BC? They trying to trap us in this Gregorian calendar, man. This white boy calendar. The so-called white boy, because you got to be technically linguistically right. They ain't technically white. Right? All these are crayon marketing strategies, man. They picked up they got the game from Carlos Linnaeus. I'm telling you, man. Look, let me roll some more on you. Hey, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, man. We about to roll a coin, man. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
I got my DNA test back today, and it says I'm most notably connected, or my DNA is most notably connected to Chief Pontiac of the Ottawa Indians, or Native Americans. That blew my mind. And I was born in Korea, lived on the streets of South Korea, but there's not much Korean in me. How is that even possible? So, I'm a Korean.
Hey, look, so this dude took a DNA test, and me and Rod already did a tape about how the DNA test is fraud. And they said, and he was born in Korea, his mama and them was born in Korea, his grandma and them was born in Korea, but he moved to America, took a DNA test. They said that, he connected to Chief Pontiac. Right? He a damn Korean. So look, it's some people that I heard Duke talking about the other day. Somebody tested a lizard. They swab a lizard, and then sent the lizard DNA in. They said that the lizard was he was African. He was 40% African. You know what I'm saying? He was 70% Vietnamese. And then they before that, I heard somebody said they swabbed the horse, and they said the same. The horse was part Russian, part Jamaican. Yeah, man. Yeah, they said the horse was part Jamaican. And so this dude ain't killing no damn cheap Pontiac. He a damn Korean. He's an agent. He's a Siberian. Yeah, man. They swabbed the horse, and then they got the DNA report back. It says the horse is Russian, and man, I'm telling you, this horse Russian, and he's Jamaican. He's like 25% Jamaican. Like, man, this just not the horse DNA. And so the DNA is a fraud. So for when they somehow when these real pretendians who signed the dog's roll, who now being evicted, come out to say DNA test, automatically said they the part of the game or retarded or something, because the DNA says when you get it for entertainment purposes only. Rod already pointed it out. Yeah, it says when you get that shit, it says for entertainment purposes only. What does that mean? That's like counterfeit money. It's like you get some play monopoly money, and it says this money when you flip it over, it look like real money on the front, but when you flip it over, it says this money is for entertainment purposes only. Yeah, man. So that part.
But as the only Native American, I didn't know that, huh? Let me look at you. Well, I think that's all right. Mark Wayne has also been a fantastic advocate for our cherished tribal communities. He's now...
Mark Wayne Mullen becomes the first person in the Cherokee Nation to hold a position in the cabinet. And that is how you rewrite history properly. That's how you colonize history the proper way. What you're witnessing right now is what we call the $5 Indian. In the 1800s, there was a land grab in the West. Now, while you had many white Americans entering a lottery in which they received free land in the West because they were trying to populate that area, you also had tribals being split up and pretty much being forced to assimilate. So the Dawes Commission decides to make a list of all these tribes and their lineage. In comes the Dawes Rolls. The Dawes Rolls was a way to identify and recognize these tribal groups. The tribal groups were split up into Cherokee, Creek, Chickasaw, Choctaw, and Seminole, which had things like name, age, gender, and your card number. And as always, in comes racism and colonization. This is where you get the $5 Indians. Thousands of white people poured in to become a part of this land grab and then paid a typical $5 fee in order to get on the Dawes Rolls and wrote that they were a part of the Cherokee tribe. This is why you have so many white people say that they are part of the Cherokee tribe. At the same time, guess what? Dark-skinned Native Americans were also excluded at this point. Negro, or a part of the black community, versus the indigenous or native community. And now in the year of 2026, you have a European man saying he is a part of the Cherokee Nation.
Yeah, because they start incorporating the tribes. Like I said, with the I think it was 1953, the Reorganization Act, all these different acts that they start passing to where the small hats came in and start franchising and copyrighting tribes and under federal jurisdiction so that they can steal in. I'm telling you, Top Cat already talked about that. Shout out to Top Cat. I'm trying to get Top Cat back on to do the 5-digit tribe breakdown on how they hijacked that too, and then made seals and incorporated those seals as federal franchises, just like a McDonald's brand. You know how they got all these new tribal seals? They erased ours, burned ours, hid ours in the safe, right? And then they created new franchise seals that's federal owned and copyrighted. And it's just like McDonald's, Burger King, and all this. And so the 5 indigenous tribes, the new ones that they moved to Oklahoma, that if you pull up the chiefs, all of them look like Europeans, pale-faced Europeans. These guys are federally recognized. That's another thing, because you got people out here talking about, oh, y'all pretendians, and they the real $5 Indians, right? They say we pretendians because the federal government don't recognize us. Boy, that's like saying, yeah, you ain't legit because your enemy don't recognize you. Because people who occupy and stole your land don't recognize you, you're not legit. That's what these suckers are saying. Shit is funny, man. Shit is real funny, yo.
But as the only Native American
30 minutes northeast of Bellingham, in a neighborhood cut out of dense forest, you'll find a group of Nooksack people fighting with all they have to keep their namesake and their homes.
That's where we're all going to have to stand up, and we're not moving. I don't know what we have to do to, it's going to get ugly if they do that.
Tribal leadership has disenrolled more than 300 members. They've been kicked out. Inside the home of Norma and Eugene Ulrich, a gathering of the now former Nooksack members that remain in tribal housing.
They've pitted us against each other. It's become an us and them thing.
In 2013, the Tribal Council moved to disenroll the Nooksack 306. They claim that a Canadian ancestor from the 19th century wasn't a legal Nooksack. Therefore, her relatives are eligible to enroll in the tribe.
Yeah.
Santana Rabang was a teenager when the process started nearly a decade ago.
But yet they're using the fact that our ancestral name wasn't listed on a colonial document from 1942. That's the main excuse that they're using, that we're not indigenous.
Rabang has lost her tribal benefits, and so have the elders. Back at the dinner table, Aldridge and her husband face eviction.
It's like every year I say, do I put up a tree? Do I decorate? Or, do I start packing? It's just going through my mind all the time. Like, what do we do?
National.
The ancestors came over as immigrants, and like I told you, now ICE and Trump is on, because he the one that said they don't look like Indians to me. You think he wasn't gonna be after the people to try to cut them off? He's saying that we don't gotta. He's saying that, I'm gonna tell you what Trump said now. They don't gotta hold up the lie no more, because we know now. Like, for the most part, a lot of us know that we indigenous to this land, right? And that's a difference between people saying, oh, no, we Native Americans, right? And then you got people saying, no, we American Indians, right? Which both of them really are incorrect, technically. We the Moors. That's what you should be saying. Because native, anybody can be a native. Native just means you born on this land. Native American means you just born on this land, technically. So a white, anybody that's born in the hospital over here on this land can be Native American, technically by the term. And then American Indians will be a misnomer. We are the real Amaru Khans, right? But the Indian would be a misnomer technically, because they copyrighted and franchised that to trade it out for the Moor. We just played that clip for you in 1621. Yeah, so keep in mind when you're using these terms and you're afraid of the word Moor. That's why the killer clowns who rock your crowns, who know about the mounds, but they really a whole bunch of clowns. Like we told you, they some killer clowns though, and that shit is just what it sounds like. They the ones that locked all of the chiefs up, the L's, like L. Rookins, Malachi Z York, L. They the ones that went out to the L's, going back with J. Hoover, who's a killer clown. Yeah. Jesse Jackson, all of them were killer clowns who rock our crowns like they know about the mounds, but they're a whole bunch of clowns. But they afraid of you saying that you're more. They don't give a damn about you. They don't really like you calling yourself indigenous or indigenous neither. But they're really afraid of the word more, and they will put all they might and force out after you at a certain point in time. They over with now though, really, as far as that part. They will put their whole might to take you down and get you shit down and then infiltrate you and sabotage you if you was even leaning towards that turn. See what I'm saying? We already did a tape on it called Operation Square Business, where we showed you where these guys were out to Noble Jew Ali, Jeff Fort. Go pull up Jeff Fort with a fez on. Pull up Dr. Malachi Z York with a fez on. And overstand the L. Overstand the L means the gods, the Elohim. And ground locked down in Florence, Colorado, Supermax. Understand what Supermax is all about. Well, they only get 1 hour of sunlight. And I don't know if the sun is shining in that little area, the little cage, the little 4x4 or 8x8 cage that they let them come out in to try to stretch their legs. They claim it's the most secure prison ever built in the world, besides Moon Base 12. That place is a place for extraterrestrials. Ain't Elohim, Els, extraterrestrial? So that place, Florence, Colorado, influencers. That place is a place for extraterrestrials to lock extraterrestrials down. Els. Niggas who can, make a difference. And they had to be stopped by some dudes, the same dudes who got a whole damn library, the bigger than the Library of Congress, just on the Moors. Why would you be doing it if there ain't nothing to it? That's what I was trying to tell people. But yeah, man, let's get more into it. Everybody hit that like, hit that subscribe button. These guys making fun of us worldwide, and you gonna tell me ain't nothing to it? Every year, calling it to the Mama's Parade. Yeah, they mama. What is the damn mama? A mockery? Didn't they mark Yeshua for you Bible guys? Didn't they mark Yeshua at the cross and make fun of him? Then they hang Yeshua on a tree, a cross. They said it was a cross. According to their teachings, we keep the Southern Cross and the Christmas and all that. But for my Bible guys, didn't they say they was hanging us on trees, hanging Moors from trees? So it's like we are the Jesuses. We are the real Messiahs. That's why they created an operation called Stop the Rise of a Black Messiah, the Black Disc, where J. Edgar Hoover and his constituents, who are the killer clowns, who was established in 1876, I think it was, the 13 killer clowns. Shriners is another name for them. The guys who set up all the circuses, who kidnapping the kids, the guys who set up Walt Disney's, because Walt Disney was the killer clown. It's a book I got about that. And I did an AI on it, and the AI got flagged, so I couldn't load it up. They wouldn't even let me load the AI up. It's an AI tape I did on Walt Disney and how the CIA went in there before, and they didn't talk too much about it because I don't want to get algorithm, but just how the CIA, when Walt Disney, who was a FBI and killer clown, literally a Shriner, and his son, when he copped the land down in Florida, when they was getting ready to construct the place, the CIA came in and halted the constructions and built the underground tunnels and connected the underground tunnels and built the underground base right there under Walt Disney. This is what what whistleblowers were saying. This whistleblower was saying in his book. The CIA tactical. I'm going to start pulling out some of these books. But like I told you, I was reading this book right here. Message to the Millennium. Yeah, so just keep all that in mind when you're thinking about the psyops against us, and that the people that's going out now, we not pretendians because we ain't no Indians. We the Moors being miscalled the Indians. So we ain't no pretendians, but the real pretendians are the ones who signed the Dawes Roll, Dr. Umar Johnson, since you are going talking against your own brothers, saying they're calling us pretendians, saying, oh yeah, you do got Cherokee, or you do got Chautauqua tribe created by the government. We could trace their history all the way back. We already know about Stan Wadey and them, all of them, right? John Ross and them boys, and How them boys were putting plays on each other. Yeah, Top Cat already came on. Shout out Top Cat. Top Cat already came on and broke all it down. And we did a whole AI breakdown on it. Yeah, them boys were putting plays on each other, man. And them boys don't even really look like us like they really. Well, Stan Wady, them boys can pass for like them boys can pass for us a little bit because, like I say, you got to remember. I want to play a clip of Doc. I wonder, can y'all hear this clip? Let me see, can y'all hear this clip with Doc on now? Because Doc talk about Ho Shin who came over. Here you go, right here.
Indigenous people of this land. The Chinese came in, mixed in with them, and produced what you're calling Native Americans today or Indians. And the Caucasian gave them all of our rights. Right. Now they're walking around saying Cherokee, Choctaw, Shinnecock, Cheyenne, and we're walking around saying African, African, African. And they know that the Native Americans, the Moroccans, mixed in, the Native Americans and the Moroccans mixed in, and that's what's sitting here. And that's why some of you got wavy hair, some of you got nappy hair, and some of y'all got big lips, and some got thin lips, and some got slant eyes. That's why some of y'all are light-skinned. That's why you're all mixed up. It's a melting pot of our genes. But that's who they genetic trait that I am Yamasi, Washita, Cherokee, Creek, Seminole, as well as Moor. Prove that. You follow that? And then you take that, not here. You don't go to his courts. You go to the international courts in Geneva. And the first thing you put forth is a statement, I am an indigenous person. Stop saying anything other than that. What is your nationality? I am a Moor. If any of you people have listened to me and went to any professional office and said it, you saw the reaction. You saw them go, we have white, Asian, Negro, and other. Well, put more in place of other. Well, aren't you a Negro? No. You see them fall apart, but you'll see them write it down. I can show you the part, but you'll see them write it down because they know it's the law. Because they have a philosophy that if they break one treaty, none of the treaties they make are to be trusted. That's in Congress. And they made a treaty with you as a Moor. They didn't make no treaties with you as Negroes or slaves. And when the Caucasians started making rules and regulations, he was concerned with the African slave trade. He didn't care nothing about the Moors who came from Morocco, right? He didn't care nothing about the Moors that came from Mauritania. He didn't care nothing about the Moors who came from Senegal. He didn't care nothing about the Moors who came, all he was concerned. And they flipped the coin in the Latin-speaking world and gave Negrito the respect when Morenos used to have the respect. And then they call them Negrito Morenos, which is black or Moor. You see them fall confused. It was done. So a person in Spanish will walk up to you and call you Negrito and make like they're giving you a compliment. They don't know that the Caucasians switched it. Portuguese turned it around. And Morenos was the compliment. Because it meant more black by identity, not black by color. You follow what I'm trying to say? But when you walk up to a brother from Puerto Rico and say, what are you? He said, Puerto Rico. He said, no, you ain't. You're not a Puerto Rico. What are you? You're more. You follow what I'm saying? I'm from Dominican Republic. You're not a Dominican Republic. You're more. Cuba's a place. Not a people. And I'm Cuban. Don't let them fall for that crap. Stop, strip back all the names and keep saying more. And then we become the majority. And according to their system, the majority rules. So if all the Latinos, Asians, Nubians, as you want, whatever, come together and say we are all Moors, what happens? We control the thing. Now they really got the people confused. It was done.
Hey, so you heard it. You heard it there from an L, man. One of the L's they got locked in Colorado with Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover. So it's like this. Doc just told you could go off calling yourself whatever. Like he already had said it before. You could go off calling yourself whatever you want, but they afraid of you saying that one thing more. And right, that's when they came after him and locked him up. Jeff Fort, same thing. He started the L Rook and boom, they own him. They infiltrated him, set him up. You got to study it. And then for people that saying Dr. Malachi Z York is guilty, you got to study COINTELPRO operations and understand the game on the land. Right? Understand the game on the land. Understand all those treaties made with Indians are really treaties made with Moors, because Indian is a misnomer for Moor. So all the treaties made with Moors, made with Indians, are more or treaties made with the Moors. And treaties are supposed to be the supreme law of the land, along with the Constitution. At least let them tell it. But they sneaky and they crafty, y'all. This devil, our adversary, is crafty. He's crafty, man. He come up with copyright laws and patents. He patent diseases. Yeah, man, and run this game. But we on to him, though. We've been on to him for quite some since 1970, man. We've been on, shout out free Dr. Malachi Z York. We've been on to their game since 1970, man, these guys. And what they all about.
30 minutes northeast of Belling.
Hey there. We were looking at y'all from over the ridge and, well, we kept thinking, are we family? Because we sure look alike. Are y'all from Siberia too?
We are from this land, but maybe long ago, our people walked the same cold road.
You're a liar! There was black people here before you! You come from Siberia!
So when they stole our identity, mispronounced it as Choctaw, they would come back into Lacombe, see our ways of living, and then they would mimic this back in Oklahoma. We have to ask, as historians, who signed the Dancing Rabbit Treaty and some of the other treaties? Research their name and see if the people that's in Oklahoma, I'm finna get real controversy. Let's see if there's really Native Americans that your tax money is paying for today, no matter what color you are. I said, if the government want to really know who been ripping them off, check out and see who's inside that pudding. Because what's in the pudding sure ain't chocolate.
If you look at some of the reservations that you've approved, you, sir, in your great wisdom have approved, I will tell you right now, they don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like the Indians. Now, maybe we say politically correct or not politically correct. They don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like Indians to Indians, and a lot of people are laughing at it, and you're telling how tough it is, how rough it is to get approved. Well, you go up to Connecticut, and you look. Now, they don't look like Indians to me, sir.
Hey, Troy TB, that is correct. You is correct, because some of the treaties that they say that was signed, they don't got the original chiefs' names on it. It got people that infiltrated the tribes and then signed the treaty. So you are right about that. We saw that on some of the documents. Some of the documents, somebody just put an X there, an X in the box. Now, who the hell is the X? You know what I'm saying? Like, so everything that they did pretty much is a fraud. You know what I'm saying, Troy? Shout out that boy Chief Troy TB, man. Yeah, everything they pretty much set up is a fraud. They didn't honor none of the treaties anyway. We just saying in general, if the treaties that they if they want to say they made treaties with Indians, that Indian is a misnomer. Right? That's how we saying. Yeah, so but we know that a lot of the people that signed the treaties was suckers who infiltrated and killed off the real chiefs and real big mamas, because this was a matriarch land. The chiefs couldn't sell land anyway. That's what John Rolfe and them boys, and the boys Stan Wady and them, the Wady family, well, that's what their argument was about. John Ross, who looked like a European, he could probably have some like a 132s or something in him of us, but because he had to have some of us. Because he was playing, it seemed like he was playing for the home team versus Stan Wady and them playing for the colonizers. Yeah, Stan Wady and them was signing the treaty with the U.S. For the Indian Removal Act, while John Rolfe don't sell land over here. That's against our rules. And put a play on them boys. Put the play on them boys, man. All simultaneously. Two of them boys were stabbed up and butchered up, and another your boy think of his name in a minute. The Major Ridge and John Ridge. I think that was his brother's name. Major Ridge got ambushed and shot up in the back. They jumped out the woods, yeah, and ambushed them. And they were some dark-skinned looking brothers, but they had the straight hair features. Yeah, so that was over. Oh, we ain't sell no lens, so ain't no way. All this shit was by force and by gunpoint, literally. A lot of this stuff. If we sign anything with them, with the enemy, right? Let's get more into it.
1895 and 1896, when a lot of the whites found out the benefits that these blacks are going to be entitled to, a lot of whites went to the Dawes Commission and say, look, why don't you put my name on there? They said, but you're not an Indian. So that's what they said, well, I'll give you $5. So the rule got around, the posse got around that for $5 that a white could put his name on the Dawes rolls and be called himself an Indian and be entitled to all these benefits, and all their children could be entitled to all these benefits forever. And so that became known as what's called a $5 Indian. And so if you go around now and check most of the Indians, the so-called Indians in America,
they're gonna copyright me for that, playing more than 30 seconds of that sound. You got that sound in the background, but that's another thing about the Dawes roll. So if you're just not coming in, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. This is Who Are the Real Pretendians, and the Pretendians starts with the Dawes roll. That's one of the things, the major keys to show who are the real Pretendians. That white folks signed up as $5 Indians. The $5 Indians are the real Pretendians. They pretending to be Moors and they not. Right? And yeah, so but Dr. Umar Johnson is going along, seems like he going along with these guys. Saying, oh yeah, I got like a little bit of Cherokee. Cherokee is a we ain't gonna get into that of how they set that up and hijacked that. We got a tapes already on that. Like I just said. Yeah, so whose side is Dr. Umar Johnson? To me, you indoctrinated with what you learned in college, which it wasn't about the Moors. Damn sure wasn't about the Moors. Why you don't talk about the Moors, Dr. Umar Johnson? And then the false narrative of the slave trade and the Africans being kidnapped is a bunch of crap. Why you don't talk about the Berber Moors who like getting booty with anybody who were Muslim Moors, who were from West Africa, the guys who was the main guys on the slave trade, trading slaves. That's a white man, Umar. You don't know nothing about that, Umar? Umar, did you know that West Africans were the ones doing the slave trading from the Ivory Coast? Call themselves Berber Moors. They were the ones kidnapping white Europeans and enslaving them and selling them for ransom. We got tapes on that too. If you want to go, we got the research I already done on that. Go in the Moorish Science playlist or the Native American playlist and watch the Berber Moors. And then after that, watch the tape right after that called Queen Isabella and the Queen's Gambit. And understand Queen Isabella, and it's why Dr. Umar Johnson don't talk about Queen Isabella in the Spanish Inquisition. And how Queen Isabella really started the COINTELPRO operations back in the 1470s. And then they was able to sack the Moors in Granada and then steal those seals and that flag, and then floss flag their way past the Berber Moors who was waiting to get booty with them. But when they saw him with a Moorish flag, they was like, oh, these niggas down with the Granada. So we can't mess with them. They down with Ali. They down with the Muslim Moors. Because keep in mind, the Granada Moors were Muslim. And the Berber Moors were Muslim Moors. So they couldn't get booty with they couldn't get booty with anybody that had a Granada flags, because the Granada flag were Muslims, and that's against their religion to get booty with them. Yeah, getting booty is gold in pirate time. So they can't get booty with them because Queen Isabella and them now sneak by them, Christopher Columbus and them with the Granada flag up, and then when they ask them to produce their birth certificate for their ship, they can produce a seal that got a Granada seal on it. So now they can false flag by the Moors, the Muslim Moors. They can pretend to be Muslims when they Christian spies. At least Christopher Columbus was. But man, for a long time, for hundreds of years, the Berber Moors were the ones that you ain't see no Europeans over here till during about the 1700s. They didn't come over here, and they came over in the 1700s as convicts by King George. Why King George the First? Why don't Dr. Umar Johnson talk about the Transportation Act that England passed, where they flushed all the white convicts over here into Americans 1715 and worked them on the tobacco farms and made them pick cotton, these Moors from Britain, the redcoats. And then when they got, after 60 years of getting screwed over by these guys on bad contracts, like you remember when Tupac was trying to get off of Death Row Records, and then Suge Knight brought him in the office and pulled out a book from under the table, and he said, "Yeah, you couldn't leave, but you gotta pay me $6 million because for that little party you was doing, them butt naked freaks. They were about 50,000. I put on nip to get them butt naked freaks up in there. Which remember when you was in the club and you was popping bottles and stuff, man? Yeah. Every bottle you popped was like $20,000. Yeah, he had a list. So the dirty Moors from Britain did these white convicts like that. Yeah. See, you can be free. You're supposed to be free in 7 years, but see, remember that corn and stuff we get, clothes and stuff I bought you? Yeah, see, you still owe me 2 more years of labor. So that went on for 60 years until the white boys got mad and started the American Revolution. Why Dr. Umar talk about that? 1773 to 1775, where they fought against the British Moors. And some of the Native Americans helped them. Over here, some of the native Moors helped them. Some of the other Moors who was mixed with them, with the Moors from Britain, became known as the Black Lawless, and they didn't want to fight against these people. So they escaped to Canada and got treated like crap when they got up there. So why don't Umar Johnson talk about none of that, man? The Spanish Inquisition.
Man, get in here. They always say the $5 Indians, the $5 Indians, the $5 Indians, right? But the story have never been told the correct way. So now I have a court case to show who these peoples really are, right? And who are they descendants? Now, before I show you this court case, who are they descendants? Have you ever been to a Chinese restaurant and you order an egg foo young? You order shrimp fried rice? You order shrimp fried rice? You order crab ragoon? You order that, right? They are the same peoples. Now let's watch this court case about to blow your mind. Now, while they are called the Native Americans, we understand the white people's called the $5 Indians. But have you ever heard of the court case called Peoples versus Hall, classify Chinese peoples as Indians? Take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. But let's continue the story and let's get a little more deeper. Now, when did they come into effect of being so-called switch places with us? When did it come into effect? Do you know? Okay, I got you. Back to this court case. Remember the Treaty of 1866? Supposed to make us so-called part of the Indian tribe of the freedmen, right? With our ancestors of 1866? Well, the court system and the Supreme Court with Peoples versus Hall classified Chinese peoples as Indians to prevent them from testifying against white peoples. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to prevent them from testifying against white peoples? Because they had made a pact to take our land rights. And they said, and this is from verbatim, you used us, so now we're going to use you. We need Indian casinos, we need land, that was black people's. And the foreigner said, you know what, you right, okay, cool. All right, you know what, we gonna give you the black people's land. And all right, cool. Because it's just like the Jews in Washington, D.C. now, right? It's just like the Jews. We stole their heritage because we came as the pilgrims. So now you owe us. So now, since we know your secret, Washington, D.C., we own you, just like the Chinese.
Look, I wonder if that dude be watching my tapes, because I said that they getting paid hush money. Both the people in Israel and these people that's claiming to be us over here is getting paid hush money by the U.S. courts. They getting paid, they getting extorted. But now they getting cut off slowly but surely. I'm telling you, man, we've been showing it. If you just not tuning in, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. The $5 Indians are being cut off by the federal government now. They was coming after us saying that, oh, you're not legit because you ain't federal recognized. Now the federal government saying, well, we don't recognize you anymore either. Because we don't need you no more. We going down, man. Trump printing his own money. Hey, man, we don't need you no more. That's what they saying, man. The devil don't need you no more to prop up his system. See, all these things like the $5 Indians, all these people that's going out with all these channels, trying to come after the Moors, trying to stop us from saying the word Moor, all this. All these people are agents and props, what you call props. And what is a prop? A prop, you got different definitions of it, but in this term, a prop is used to hold something up, prop it up, keep it up. So in order to prop up this system, that's what they are. All these people are props to prop up the system. Because the second, like Doc said, like Doc just told you in that tape, the minute that all of us come together and saying that, oh y'all, well, we ain't none of these titles they gave us, this is who we are, and kick rocks. You know what I'm saying? Once we agree on as one, it's a wrap. But it's so many people. Like how is these people over here? How is a Korean over in America on 6 houses and he rent them out to indigenous Moors? How's a Korean from Korea, South Korea in America, owning 6 and 7 houses and he rent them all out to indigenous Moors who are being reclassified as black Negroes and coloreds, pretty much turned into crayons? We put a tape out on it, how they turned us into crayons. How is that happening? If this ain't some kind of psychological warfare, And then people was out complaining. They're poisoning the food. I'm complaining about it too. So I'm part of them people, right? But but the reason why they poisoning the food is because the American people are the enemy since 1933. Since the America went bankrupt and robbed you for your gold, Executive Order 6102, and turned your money into monopoly money, House Joint Resolution 192. You gotta go look some of this stuff up, man. And so you've been an enemy ever since. So wouldn't your enemy poison you? If you're the enemy of the government, wouldn't the government allow all these different organizations that control the food? We can't say their name because they're them alphabet boys, all of them alphabet boys, right? But the alphabet boys that control the food, they allow things that's banned in other countries. Like American bread is banned in all other countries. How is that? But they'll put it on our shelves. American bread is banned. They don't even call it bread in other countries. I should have brought that clip over on. Skittles are banned in other countries. And I love Skittles. Boy, that's one of my favorite candies, Skittles. Man, but they banned in other countries. Ritz crackers. Yeah, Ritz crackers is banned in other countries, but they put it on the shelf over here with poison in it. Meanwhile, subliminally, if you eat all kosher food, if you look at the back of it, ain't no Ain't none of the, it's just all original organic ingredients. The kosher. And who's kosher food for, I wonder? You can't call no names out. You just got to put it together. When you go to the grocery store, look at the kosher section, look at the back of the ingredients, and then compare it to the same type of whatever. Say if it's pasta, get kosher pasta and compare it to the other pasta, and you'll see the difference. That this other pasta that they want all the goyim, the goyim, all the food that the goyim eat, they poison it and put and put human remain and sell us human meat and shit, clone meat. Yeah, people think I'm going crazy, man. The small hat. These guys. They don't eat pork, they say, but they selling all of they own all the factories that sell the pork. they'll pump you, they'll choke you with pork, but they won't that, but they in their Torah they claim they don't eat it. But they'll choke you with it, sell it. Yeah, here's another thing. Most of the take that back, most of the stores that sell the pork is owned by these guys, but the pork farms is owned by Chinese. Most of the pork farms in America is owned by Chinese, and the Chinese won't even allow that pork to be imported into their country. They banned it. Look, boy, if you ain't no dummy, I mean, how is the people that own all the pig farms banning pig from coming out of their country, and then China is a known enemy in a subliminal way of America? Why would you allow somebody that's your known adversary in a black way with Russia to have control over a particular food source inside of your country? And you wonder why Muslims don't eat pork. The Hebrews. But the small hats open up all the markets to sell the shit. And the Chinese raise the shit, but they don't allow to become on. They only allowed to be exported to their country. Now, what kind of shit is this? So, what we gotta do as a people is we gotta tribe up and become smarter, man, onto the game. We could have been put these guys out of business if we stopped buying their shit. We could have been put the devil out of business if we boycott him. Boycott his soda. Boycott his cigarettes. Boycott all of his shit that's poison. Because you got to keep in mind that Samael means poison those of El. And remember, I told you we was Els, right? Samael, who was the 24th elder, who chose to break his seat. Break the circle, because that's what Lucifer really means. The destroyer of the circle, because we sat around the throne. And when he broke off, he created the sea. But now it's come a time where there'll be no more sea. Remember, we told you that. So the only reason the devil's still in business is because we prop him up in ignorance. And we perish because of it. Our efforts are being weaponized against us because of ignorance. But once we become aware to the game, hey, we ain't all these shit you calling us, nigga, we Moors. We don't need your hospitals. We got our own doctors. Our herbal we need to start training our own herbal doctors, because they killed off a lot of holistic doctors recently here, including Dr. Sabi. And we don't even know. They say he died from pneumonia. How he died from pneumonia, he cured, all these other, we got to say other things. Because they be on us. And then they said that Noble Drew Ali died from tuberculosis. Well, that's one story they give us. The old heads say he stabbed up. The old heads in the adult chamber said that he got stabbed up. That was the ultimate story. But they said that they gave us the story. He died from tuberculosis when Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, was a master healer. And he was selling drugs back then. He was selling herbs. Right? I can't say drugs because they make it say, oh, he was selling crack or something, right? No, Noble Drew Ali was selling herbs, not marijuana. He was selling herbs that he was mixing himself, just like these young guys doing now, like Lifewave and Yaki and all the other guys that's doing selling their own herbs. Noble Drew Ali was doing that back in the 1920s. Right? So we need to be smarter on. We knew how to cure a lot of these things that they saying that's these new diseases really all on patent. They are patent and man-made in the laboratory. Even AIDS, so essentially they say it was made by a German scientist, and then they put it in some containers and sold it to a certain place. They denied it, and then they sell it to Africa. The guy took it and threw it in the river. The AIDS virus. It was engineered by German scientists. And then you got to think about, you got to break that word down, German. And then when you start putting chasing all the patents back, watch who they chase back to. The Ashkenazi Germans. The Germans are the ones who engineering all the germs. Who are and they ain't the original Germans. The original people that was in that land was the Bantu. But the people that's calling themselves Germans are really Aldebaran extraterrestrials. The German who don't want, you got to keep in mind, because Valiant Thor was a part of that group. And according to the documents, he didn't want to shake hands, or they were told not to shake hands with this guy because he had some kind of bacteria that grew on his skin that if he got on humans, it'd kill him. And so these Germans had bacteria on their skin that when it came to the planet and started hitting the planet, now you get all of these outbreaks and dark plagues, and then they started making whoopee with the bestiality and created syphilis, which they later used patenting it and weaponized it in the Tuskegee experiment. So it's been an all-out war. What you think the Tuskegee experiment was about? It's about biological warfare. We don't believe the story that they gave us that that they wiped all of us out with smallpox when they came, because they didn't wipe all of us out. They reclassified us. They dehumanized us. It turned us into 3/5 of a human being, according to some people's perspective. Some people say don't say that in the clause. Right? So let's roll some more clips, man. We got, like I said, we got a full clip for you.
Hey brother, just want to remind you that these are
That's why the Siberians and Mongoloids be mad when we claim our indigenous culture.
Native Americans that are Siberian hate black folks. Hey, my hands, and everybody got a name, but don't understand that they're black Indians. I met in the casino. I met black Cree Indians. These dudes were hanging with me speaking Cree. I was like, what the fuck? They were like, oh no, we're Cree. They were speaking Cree. The Indians are black. Most of them are black. There's the Siberian ones that look Mexican-ish, who came from the Bering Strait. But then their dances. I just found this that their dance.
Yeah, hey, and he may be banned because he said that the Siberians, the Bering Strait. He pointed out because it's mighty funny when they got Alaska, when the United States copped Alaska, a lot of these beings came that was imported here to play certain tribes, like the original Blackfoot. The original Blackfoot got replaced with some people from Canada and Arkansas. So keep in mind about the replacement. This is called cellular colonialism. It's when they colonize you, they bring in a replacement crew. They train this replacement crew in so-called Indian training school, which is different from boarding school. They try to say that Indian training school was the same as boarding school. No, it wasn't. Indian training schools when they was training Siberians and Chinese to be like the Moors. Because keep in mind, the word Indian really is Moor, right? It's they translated that to steal our birthrights. So keep in mind that the boarding schools were when they were kidnapping Moors children out from their homes send them. If they was on the East Coast, they'll send them to the West Coast. If they're from the West Coast, they'll send them to the East Coast, and then they would indoctrinate them with the Spanish Inquisition. They would indoctrinate them with what Dr. Umar Johnson is teaching right now about the Africans. We Africans, and you came on a ship. You got beat. Harpo beat you now. You told me. You told me, man. And we're gonna beat you until you say you told me. Then he gonna goes out to say, he gonna go with his good old doctor's degree, he gonna go out to say, show him some literature where it says that the American people said that they didn't come from Africa. Right? But he said, I can show you a whole bunch of literature where it says they came from Africa. Duh, because the colonizers wrote. He just, man, I don't know if he playing dumb or if he really is dumb or is he an agent? Yeah, like, so, like, of course the colonizer is gonna write, if he's out to steal the Moors' land, who are indigenous to this land, of course he's gonna write in, oh, you got kidnapped you from Africa. When it's a damn lie, he was the one getting kidnapped from Europe and the coastlines of these other countries where they tried to settle. Man, up into the 1900s, they couldn't even settle on the coastline because of the Berber Moors. We're still out there. Even after Isabella in 1492, the Berber Moors were still kidnapping these people. Only reason Queen Isabella and her constituents, Columbus, got their pass is because, like I told you, they used the Muslim flag. They used the Muslim flag, man. That's the only reason they got by the Berber Moors. They out there like sharks. These Berber Moors like sharks on the Atlantic and the Mediterranean Sea. Man, they caught you, man. Your flag wasn't a Muslim flag, and you ain't your king, if he was a Christian king and he ain't paid no toll. Oh man, they finna get booty with you, man, right in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, man. They finna make you wait. And if you want to be a sucker, they'll make you walk the plank. Yeah, they finna get booty with you right in the middle of the ocean, man, if you don't got no Muslim flag up. So yeah, Columbus and them came slid through with a Muslim flag in 1492. And that's the only reason they made it over here. To the extreme west. Out of Morocco, the extreme west, El Mexum, Turtle Island, the North Gate. So, man, we wondering where Dr. Umar Johnson is. He just going along? No, we ain't got no problem with you. You say, oh yeah, man, this is what I learned in college, and I'm sticking to it, man. This is what I learned. I took Black history. He took Black history in school. And that's what they taught in Black history. Programs brought on by Nathan Salisbury and Wild Bill and them, and the other German Jewish guy who handed this Black paradigm, American paradigm, off to the Moors who they had tried to conquer. Yeah, we got videos on that too. Shout out that boy Duke. Duke pointed that out. Duke of Tears. What else, man? We got some more clips. Let's fire them up, man.
White Pretendian Serene Fox.
50s. When indigenous people were not allowed to wear our regalia, when we're not allowed to gather in more than 4 people. So Chimigwich for representing.
Hi. Man, look, that's a man. That's a man, that Adam Apple. Man, look, that's a whole man. Yeah, man, that's how far they going, the Pretendian. Look, man, that's a whole man dressed up, man. They really, but I'm gonna tell you, this they alchemy. Because Rod, hey, shout out Chief Rod Hayes, man. Rod pointed that out with the Statue of Liberty really was Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa really is a man dressed like a woman. And it's symbolic to them, the patriarch, them bringing that patriarch over here to overthrow our matriarch. And it's not people offended by the patriarch. So, matriarch. They say, but the patriarch. The patriarch got completely rid of the matriarch. But the matriarch had room for the patriarch, meaning that it was incorporated into the system. And it's always been like that on the Blue Rock. Maybe on some other planet that you probably could talk about, like Risk, where Anu Nim was in charge and the patriarch system was set up. Enlil Nim, the Anarchies, is the ones that came with this patriarch system. And then King James Nim drove it home with the psychological homosexual, or I like man better than women. So the King James is then, especially if you read in the books of Paul's deceiver disciples books, who got just so happen has the most books. Well, they really letters, epistles, right? Just so happen to have the most books in the New Testament. And he goes along the lines of saying in one of his letters that women shouldn't be speaking in church and they should pretty much stay in their place. Yeah, you should stay in your place, sit down and mind your business, and let a grown man handle business in the church. Yeah, man, that's what Paul said. And then you got women, that's women preachers who are up right now preaching into pastors of churches, and they preach from Paul's books, but they never read that part where he said women sit down and mind your business and let the grown man. Yeah, man. Because they were homophiliacs. They were scared of the Nubian woman. But in the closet, because they are some in the closet type of guys. In the closet, the Pope, when he get up in the morning, he go in the closet and bow down to the black woman. Yeah. And like we say, we don't the word black, right? We don't like that term when it comes down to how they try to franchise us pretty much and put us on the market and trade and sell us human traffickers as Christian property. Right? So, but he goes in his closet and he get down on his knees to the Nubian Madonna, to the Moorish Madonna, holding the mother and child, breastfeeding her son. Don't believe me? Go pull up Pope bowing to the black Madonna. So they know what time it is. That's why that Rod pointed out that, hey, look at this seat. That seat that's sitting off the ground. You know, they call it the throne of St. Peter. But Peter's a dude. Peter's a guy, man. Peter the rock, right? On this church I build my rock, Peter. But St. Peter's chair is on the ground under that chair. That big chair at the top is Big Mama's chair. Our Nana chair. That's why our Nana's headpiece is a throne or a chair on her headpiece, not the headpiece with the bull horns and the sun dish. That's Harthar's headpiece, who is Mother Ninti's Mother Ninti, who actually breastfed and surrogate the first classified human being during the Adaman Project. But Dr. Umar Johnson don't go out that far because he claimed he ain't never heard of Dr. Malachi Z York. But we ain't gonna go out that far. We're gonna stick to what he know, right? So, Dr. Umar, why don't you talk about the Spanish Inquisition? Why don't you talk about these $5 Indians who come on the stage dressed like us, but they really men. They really men. Men dressed like it's drag guys dressing up, man, and then pretending. That's how far they going now, man.
And pretendians, they'll weed themselves out because they're not talking about their lineage. And I think as community people, we have to take accountability and.
Rather, you were misled individuals and groups.
A lot of the people that's classified now as Native American are really white people, and they're not that poor. You have a lot of white people with Indian cards now.
And also, if you look at the census for my tribe, from as early as the hijack in the Roger Williams War, it started off as Native. Then some people had to switch to mulatto, which was not a black and white person. It was any other nationality mixed with the native indigenous color or DNA or ethnicity.
But we got to ask a question now, Gene.
The same people? Quick answer that.
But we got to ask a question now.
And that's Chief Warhorse. Shout out Chief Warhorse, man.
The same people? Quick answer that, Ben.
I know that they are, but you wouldn't tell it from the picture.
No, okay. Cultural appropriation, Madison, Wisconsin. Indigenous artists.
Europeans come to this continent, literally ethnically cleanse the indigenous population out of existence, kill them on a scale that has hardly been equaled by the millions, and refer to them.
At the time of the Indian Removal Act, if you did not leave your homeland, watch what happened to you.
If you back up to pre-Jacksonian America, and the time of Indian removal, there's no advantage to identifying as Indian, unless it was very important for you to keep your family and kin and nation together. If you were most interested in remaining where you were, because that was sacred ground where you were living, because you did not want to be removed, then there was advantage of identifying as African, which means then you would not be rounded up, put on the rolls, and sent west, but you could stay right where you were.
Did y'all see that? The American Indians that did not leave their homeland got reclassified as an African. Now, why would they reclassify these people as African if they didn't look like Negroes?
Yeah, I'll tell you why that happened. See, they had that African thing when they stayed on their land and then they was classified as African, they can play with a slave narrative, right? Where the Slavics can switch spots with you, because the Slavics were the real slaves from Russia and Asia, right? So that fit along with the African narrative. Also, I mean the slave narrative. Also, a lot of these people really wasn't slaves. They really were sharecroppers. They got their land took and got into sharecroppers. Go back and watch that movie, The Patriots, where they said they came in the beginning, death to the end King George, death to the end King George. And they had a doll, like a black doll hanging it right at the beginning of the movie, telling you right then. And then later on in the movie, one of the redcoat like British guys pull up to one of the slave plantations that when they was passing by, right? And he talked to the slaves out there, so-called, essentially they were supposed to be slaves. And he said, y'all can be free from slavery if you come fight for King George, right? And the people responded to him. They said, man, we ain't slaves. We just work here. They said they weren't slaves. They just worked there. Just like that, you saying you ain't a slave now, you just work at Walmart. You ain't a slave now, but you just work at Family Dollars, where they pay you pennies and they making billions. You ain't a slave now, but you work at what's the name of some of these spots y'all work at? That's paying the pennies on, paying a little bit over really the real minimum wage. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. You ain't no slave. You just got to go clock, but you better go clock in and don't miss them get no points for missing days, or else your ass gonna get fired from the plantation. So you ain't no slave. You just work there. That's the same shit. You a sharecropper at Walmart. You a sharecropper at Dollar General, or what's the other one? Dollar Tree. You a sharecropper at Target. You a sharecropper at Centerpoint Energy. You a slave because if you don't show up, you fired, unless you put in sick leave and all this other crap that they really don't want to pay you for. So keep in mind the linguistics, Dr. Umar Johnson. Slave only applies to Slavics, and that ain't us. And we ain't black, man, so stop calling us the black man unless you're talking about Africans. We ain't Africans. We the red man. Africans are the black man. Now, some people mix with Africans over here because of Mansa Musa, and maybe others that they don't want, that they probably wiped out of history. They probably wiped the others out of history. They really don't even teach you about Mansa Musa. Did they teach you about Mansa Musa in college, Dr. Umar Johnson? They didn't teach us. I went to college. I went to college for 2 years, or 2.5 years. They ain't never mentioned, in high school, they ain't never mentioned Mansa Musa. I didn't find out about Mansa Musa until Dr. Malachi Z York said something about it. So Umar, where did you get your indoctrination at? Where did Dr. Umar get his indoctrination? In Africa? Or did he get it at the Rockefeller Foundation? Where he gonna keep trying to bang home Pan-Africanism is over, man. It's a wrap. We ain't Pan is not a deity of ours. And we don't give a damn about no Pandora's box. Yeah, Pan. No, Peter Pan. Peter Pan is Never Land, where they was kidnapping our kids and they never returned. Yeah, Pan, the Greek god who plays the flute and bagpipes, who's part goat like the Menez. No, Baal, Baphomet, and Pan all go hand in hand. You understand? Or you overstand? Yeah, Baal, Pan, and all that goes hand in hand. So we ain't down with no damn Pan-Africanism. Yeah. And there ain't no shot at Africans. Africans fighting the same fight we fighting. But if you're going to talk about blacks and you helping Africans, go to Africa and help the Africans. How you going to talk about helping Africans and fight for Africans and you ain't going to Africa to help the Africans? He talking about building a school over here. For who? Africans? Why would you build a school in America for Africans? You should go to Africa and build a school for Africans in Africa. Don't that make more sense? I'm saying, man, we ain't, hey, Umar, you can keep going where you're going. We just don't believe you no more. And we saw your Masonic poses you be doing. Are you a Mason? Umar, are you a Mason? If so, because he might be I'm pretty sure just by looking at him, he could pass for a Prince Hall Freemason. So that means he got an oath to lie to us anyway. All Masons got to lie about certain secrets. It's part of their doctrine. When you lie, lying is a part of their doctrine. Ask anybody that's a part of it. You can't tell nobody the secrets. You got to lie when asked about it, if possible. So Umar, man, who was you talking to? Because the young people, man, we don't believe you no more. You said the old people don't believe you no more. You been selling them a school for a while. They ain't seen no school. Phase 1 jumping on him, beating him up on his page. He got some new AI program where he beating everybody up. Hey, shout out Phase 1, little bro. Hey, that Umar Johnson one, yeah, he beating up people, man. He beat up Umar on one. And so yeah, Umar needs to be jumped on, man, and get it because he a brilliant brother, but it seems like to me he deliberately doing what he doing on purpose because either he getting paid, he trying to keep his doctor's degree. He don't want him to take that license from him, right? Hey, you seen that too? Yeah, FaZe jumping on everybody, man. FaZe, he beating everybody up on AI, man. He beat a couple guys up on there. All the guys he been after, he jumped on them in AI, man. And that shit looked pretty real. Like it looked pretty good, man. That's a AI getting crazy. Yeah, it's on his Instagram. You want to go check that out? Phase 1 Instagram. What else I was gonna say? Let me see if I got some. I got a whole bunch of more clips, but I think that's all the ones I wanted to run, and we'll come back for a part 2 because we have about 2 hours. But man, this is what I want to say. Don't let all the people that's out here on your tracing your Native American history. If you want to find out what tribe you're from, you could go to a playlist we got called Tracing Your Ancestral. The name of the playlist is called the Native American Chief School, but the tapes you want to watch is Tracing Your Ancestral History Part 1 through 6. It got all the last names, I wish I had all the books and documents that I used to create those tapes. And but one of those, shout out Dame Calloway, one of those books I used was Tracing Your Ancestral History by Dame Calloway. Shout out Chief Honeybow, Dame Calloway and the family. We used that book and some papers, newspapers, clippings, and things that Doc put together there, because Doc really was putting together them tapes, the Tracing Your Ancestry History book and tapes, before they arrested him. Or kidnapped, should I say, because they really kidnapped the master teacher. They didn't arrest him. Everything they did was illegal. COINTELPRO operations. And, you know, but we going to keep it going. We're going to keep it moving, man. But like I say, we ain't listening to you, Umar, man. We ain't believing nothing you say. You could be a Mason and Masons lie. And then you still going with this narrative after all the information. This is 2026, and he's still teaching like he in the 60s, like he want to go out there and hold signs like Martin Luther King and be a good old Christian and get hit upside the head with a brick. Well, we ain't no good old Christians. If we was gonna be religious, we'll be Islam. And if you hit us in Islam, if you hit us with a brick, we're gonna hit your ass right back with that brick. The same other, pick up the same brick and try to knock your head off with it. In Islam, yeah, Al-Islam, we taught eye for eye, tooth for a tooth. Yeah, you knock my tooth out, I'm gonna knock 3. I'm gonna try to knock your whole grill out. Because every day, once you put your hands on me, it's up after that. It's up and it's stuck. You know what I'm saying? It's up. Ain't no telling what can. Hey, look, ain't no telling what can happen to you after you done put your hands on me for no reason, man. Come on, man. Boy. I'm telling you. And I'm telling what can happen to you. It's up and it's stuck. I'm telling you, man. Because I'm the person they go balling. So, yeah, man. Second Amendment, man. Don't get mad because young. Hey, we stand on the Second Amendment. We got the right to bear arms. And start a well-regulated militia, which they just seem to always infiltrate us and tear us apart with people that look like us but ain't us. You see what I'm saying? It's a game, man. So when you see these suckers, these $5 pretendians going out trying to say we the pretendians, just look at them and laugh. Right? Because we ain't Indians. Like I said, the Hindus are mixed in with us through the tribe of Shabazz, but we ain't Indians. We the Moors. We know what you did. 1621. And if it wasn't for that Muslim flag you had, we probably wouldn't be. If it wasn't for the Muslim flag that they stole, we probably wouldn't be in the problem, be in the predicament we in right now. If it weren't for that Muslim flag they stole from Ghana, because they didn't have that flag, the history would have been changed. In 1492, when they tried to come over here without that flag, the Barber Moors would have caught them. You know, Jack Sparrow and them. Jack Sparrow and them would have caught them and got booty with them right in the middle of the Atlantic, man. They wouldn't even made it over here. They would have got booty with them, got all of their shit, take their women and kids for slaves, and take them back to West Africa and put them on the auction block, man. White folks, not no, they weren't kidding. Africans was enslaving white folks. Dr. Umar, you want to debate that? The Barber Moors. Go look them up. We'll never hear you mention the word Moor for some strange reason. But then he all posing in pictures with the Masons and shit. Yeah, we don't. But we don't. All we hear is him talking about us as crayons. But he said he a doctor. Well, Dr. Umar, we say this to you: learn how to read. Because if you talking and saying black and referring to a people, you don't know how to read. Because black is a noun. I mean, black is not a noun. It's an adjective, so it can't apply to a people. It's automatic social engineering. And if you're a black scholar, African power, whoever the hell you are, if you would know that, and you would educate the people on that. If you was a powerful who you are, who you say you are. Yeah, black is an adjective. It's not a nationality. It really doesn't apply to a people. It's part of the Spanish Inquisition. It's part of let's turn them into chattel property, Christian property, and enslave them under the doctrine of discovery. So we can sell them on T-bonds and steal their land and poison their children and lock them up into prisons, which the state give incentives. You go watch my tape, what the prison system is all about. It's like a conveyor belt. And them boys, they killed Fulio. Y'all watch that Fulio thing? The boys all got life. And in the trial when they was giving them they sentence, that's what really struck my attention. Where they was telling where they was interviewing a warden, and they asked the warden, would this guy be a good fit to your prison? Or he was an ex-warden. And he said, yes, he'll be a good fit. We gonna get some black sweat equity. What the hell is black sweat equity? Because the boys got life in prison. He said, yeah, he's young. We gonna get him down there. We gonna get some black sweat equity out of him. What the hell is sweat equity? You YNs going to shoot your own people for no reason at all. Gun down your own people, and then they put you into a slave camp, modern day slavery, because under the 13th Amendment, anyone that get convicted of a felony or certain type of crime can be enslaved and be put in modern day slavery under the 13th Amendment. So keep that in mind for my youngsters out here going to try to get caught in the devil's trap. You only got a certain amount of time, and then you're gonna be able to let your shoulders down. But until that time, you got 4 more years until you got to let your shoulders down. But until that time, you got to stay out the devil's lane, stay out of his way, stay out of his clubs, stay out of his events, because there's some shit about to go down up in there in all of them places. Stay out of the devil's lane, man. At this point, out of the L's of God, a child of God, the child of L's. Especially if you were ill, and if you were a child of ill, that means you were ill. So yeah, because all the children of God are God's, according to their teachings. So you were ill, your fathers are ill, you were ill. So if you were ill, stay out the devil's lane. Stay in your own lane. Because when you go, because that boy, one of them, that light-skinned boy on the Fulio case, he don't look like no killer. He was he was driving around his mama car. He living in the suburbs, but want to be a gangster. Like Doc said, the only real gangsters are the original Italians. You Nubians ain't really no killers. You don't want to, man, come on. You ain't no real killers, for real. And if you show me a Nubian that's a real killer, I can show you where he hit some bad dope. Or bumped his head when he was dropped on his head by his mama when he was little. Y'all some lovers. Y'all ain't no fighters. Y'all nice guys. That's what they said about us. We nice guys. And nice really means stupid in Latin. I'm telling you, man. Or ignorant. That's what we weren't really ignorant though. We just was divine love, and they was the opposite. They was in fear of that they ain't had no land. That God promised them they land, they still hadn't got it yet. They still ain't got your land. They being kicked out the little land. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. The game and the gigs is up. Big Mama's babies is back, and you finna run that. You finna run Big Mama's land. You finna run the little gold. You only stole about less than 10% of Big Mama's gold. Because the shit Donald. Yeah, nigga, it's a whole, yeah. The Knights of Templar knows no more than a lot of they. But what's happening is it's a divide inside of their secret orders, inside of their pyramid. It's a divide between the knights and the clowns. The clowns are the Shriners, and then other organizations like Kennedy's. The Kennedys are still mad at these guys for killing Kennedy. So that creates a rift, a ripple effect in their secret orders, to where this family has got to, man, we're gonna get them back one day, some kind of way. That creates a ripple effect. And then not just Kennedy, other people that they put out of business that was supposed to be a part of their group, but they got put out of business, and they family members still feel a certain type of way about that. That comes back later to hunt them. When they killed Kennedy, they should have killed this whole family, his whole bloodline, but they didn't. So that comes back to hunt them nowadays. So then that's why George W. Bush, all this shit, all the truth is coming out, because some of the secret Kennedys secretly release whistleblowing information about the New World Order because they killed Kennedy. And we could go on and on like that Erykah Badu song, but we running out of time, y'all. We about to get up out of here. But who are the Pretendians? The Pretendians are the people that's going around that ain't the copper tone, brown skin, Native American, us, the real ones, the Moors. They imports who got trained at Indian training school, brought over here to pretend like they was us. They the real Pretendians. And it's a couple of them who are the ones that's coming out to say, oh, we the Pretendians. Some of them admitted that they work for the government. Yeah, he admitted that he worked for the government, the federal government. So I mean, how can we trust what's being said with that guy? Right? So that's what we want to do, man. You want to show us some love, man. We put the Cash App on the screen. We got PayPal. If you want to get the 8 books, Still by the Young Yellow, we still got that for $45 donation to the Cash App or PayPal. And leave your emails in the links. We'll send over the 8 books in PDF form to your emails. What else? Yeah, man. Me and Roy are gonna be going live soon. I'm trying and Mama Rabbird. And we got more. We're gonna try to get the Lady V Indigenous back on. And we're gonna bring on more guests. And we're gonna keep you updated with recent news. I got about 2. I might be going live tomorrow with some more information because I got some more recent news to drop on the UFO thing, right? A part 2 to the UFO disclosure thing, to some of the stuff that's coming out now, not what Trump released, but some of the whistleblowers who are coming out and saying, oh man, you know what I'm saying? When I was at a base, I walked out about 2 miles. Some aliens came down and fell on my booty, man. And then they told me to come in the crowd. And then I don't know if they wanted to get booty with me or not. But then when I got in the crowd, they hit me with something on the side of my neck. Yeah, man. I got some good tapes, some good alien stories I'm going to bring to you probably tomorrow night. No, not tomorrow night, because I'm going to be on with Arisha tomorrow night. It's going to be Wednesday night, right? Then I'm going to come back with that disclosure part 3. Part 2. So we're going to be on Arisha tomorrow at 9. Shout out Arisha, man. Arisha probably on right now. Yeah, so that's gonna be going down, man. When I come out with that one, right? And you heard it's another dude that came out just like the Jail of Dolphin story. I don't know if it's real or not, because to me, it sound like the same story, but except his happened in Tampa Bay, the Jail of the Dolphin thing, right? It's another dude that said that his story happened before Jail of the Dolphin, but when he was coming out to talk about it, he was being shadow banned and shut down by the government. And he said his incident happened in Tampa, and he actually made it out of the tunnel, like walk out of the tunnel through another entrance. He get a whole story. Yeah, man, it's a whole other dude talking about he got kidnapped by dolphins too, but he ain't say it was a Jared or Dolphin. He just said it was a group of dolphins that took him to this underground base where these kids at. Because essentially, from what this dude, because the dude gave a more detailed story, he said that this essentially that's a government base down there where they I don't know if they cloning kids or something, but he said it's an old mine, it's an old sulfur mine where they turn into a base. And they do something with the kids down there. I don't know what they do with the kids down there, but it's some weird stuff going on down there with the kids under that water, man. Yeah, he said it was a 300-mile long generator that they had down there that they live off of. And they eat some kind of specialized food. Man, I'm thinking that based on the food that he was saying, how the food glow in the dark and shit, I'm thinking that it may be some kind of algae that evolved in the cave or something underwater. I don't know, man, but we're gonna bring that information to you on Wednesday night, man. If we don't be on with Rod, because Rod has been sending me a whole bunch of receipts over the last couple of days, getting ready for the next show, man. When I tell you the receipts that he's sending me about all the stuff that he's been saying about the Trump dollar and all that. So it's about to be going down, man. We keeping you updated, we keeping you in tune and staying on to the game, man, of what they running. But the thing is, like I said, all we got to do is come together and agree as one, and we end the game. And on that note, we out, man. We send divine love throughout the boundless universe to all. Right? Free the master teacher, Dr. Malachi Z York. Free Larry Hoover. Free Jeff Ford, the L Rookie. They all L's, really. Right? Wadu. Never have it been made so clear.